Recording in progress.
Did you guys put this in?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, why isn't it going backwards? Okay, there we go. Okay, share with a flicker. Did somebody already move it?
Okay.
This one?
Have you ever find it?
Okay. So there's
Okay.
and let's figure out why can't that just not does not work with our clicker. Here. Alrighty, just give us a couple minutes and we will get started in just a second.
Areas. Yeah. Mostly right now.
Yes. So I have rain pipes up on the box. Yes. I have.
Did you have your login in the party?
Right now, someone has spoken to her.
Oh.
Otherwise, my back.
I can change it if you want me to reset it. Yeah. No. Talk to you. I'm sure. Oh, no, you're in. Yeah. Oh, okay, okay. You're good.
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and pass this sheet around. If you guys could just fill it out with your name. I'm gonna email out.
This microphone is working a little bit better than that one, so, and then.
Okay.
Is it unmuted?
Yes, I think so.
Can people on Zoom hear us? Can you type in the chat and say, hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, we are good to go.
Maybe this way. How's everybody's week so far? Anything exciting? Anything coming up? Anything that you need, needs and wants? Not that good. Anyone do an open house this weekend? Where is your open house?
No, I'm doing one
Oh.
this week.
Okay. Where is it at?
Sure knows.
Okay. All right.
I did. I did it
You did? How'd it go?
very well. Very well.
Awesome. Did you get any contacts?
Yes, I did, thank you.
Or leads? Awesome.
Cool,
Just chit chatting.
okay.
She said to use this one.
Oh, okay. Alrighty.
Ooh.
Put it on. Can the people on Zoom hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay. You checked. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I think there's a sign-in sheet going around. Let's get started. All right, so my name is Laurelyn. I'm with ClearMark Title. This is my business partner, Haley. She's also with ClearMark Title. And today we're going to be starting the first time that we're bringing social farming to the office for this year. So we brought it last year and then we're bringing it back again. This is a 4-course series. So we're going to be doing it once a month. So the next time will be March, the last Tuesday of March. So just kind of plan on it being the last Tuesday of every month for the next few months. So this is the introduction to social farming, and just based on the 2 words, social and farming, can you guys guess as to what that means?
Farming on Facebook, farming on Instagram,
Mhm,
the science.
mhm. So farming across social media channels, essentially. That's a great guess. Thank you, Glenn. And I think we've taken this course before, right? But it's okay. Yeah, yeah. Thank you for coming back, because honestly, this type of stuff, you do need repetition. You need to be reminded of things. And even like the second, third time around, you're still figuring out things. You're being reminded of things. And then sometimes you have new revelations as well. Let me make sure that I do it. Cool. Anyone else want to take a guess at what social farming might mean or what that implies? Like, what activities would you do? Comment on stuff. So engage, kind of interact with people online. All great input. Thank you, Samantha. So please, no pictures of the slides. I just asked you of this. It is all copywritten, this presentation. So make sure, does everyone have like their note-taking materials? And if you need some, we do have some notepads and pens in the back. So raise your hand if you would want. Okay, so a couple people. Okay, so a few people, and then we do have a sign-in sheet getting passed around. So if you could, awesome, if you could just sign in there, we would greatly appreciate it. And while that's being done, you can take a picture of this slide though, because it is our contact information. And our cards are in the back as well. But yeah, feel free to take a picture of this slide, just with our phone number or email. And then our customer service email is cs@clearmarktitle.com. And you would email that email for anything such as like original documents, grant deeds, deeds of trust, if you want to start a farm. However, anything that you would email to customer service, you can just email to me, Haley, because we'll do it for you as well. But just know that that is like a resource for you guys. Thank you. Who didn't sign in yet? Did everyone sign in? Oh, Robert. All right, next slide. So this is the official definition of social farming. It is where traditional title farming information intersects with social media channels to obtain the most comprehensive real estate data. So it's not just, okay, I'm going to post, I'm going to make all these cool videos and reels. It's also about how you are able to obtain information and data on the people that you know, so your sphere of influence. It could be past clients, and it can also be people within your actual geographic farm. And we'll go into, we have a 4-step system, so we're going to go into that in more detail. But first, I wanted to talk about just the history behind social farming and how that came to be. So it was, the term was coined by our CEO, John Macias, back in 2021. You know, after the pandemic, or at least the start of the pandemic, it definitely affected how we conduct business, how we stay engaged with people in our personal lives. There's people on Zoom right now, so I think even if COVID didn't happen, I don't think we would have been as reliant on Skype or Zoom as much as we are now. It definitely accelerated our move towards that direction. And I don't think, you know, we're going to go I don't think we're gonna go backwards from that or away from it because again, we're still using Zoom right now. But I distinctly remember for me, I had like Zoom parties, Zoom happy hours, DJs were always like, watch my live set, and we would all be drinking like White Claw in our rooms, right? And it was just really weird. It was such a weird time. But so, you know, it definitely affected how we stayed connected with people, and then it's definitely affecting how we conduct our business. So that's just a little bit of background on social farming and how and why we think it's something that you guys can definitely utilize for your business and be really efficient in keeping in contact with people. And then over to the right-hand side of your screen. I'll minimize. Yeah, I can minimize. But yeah, maybe you can tell her too, just in case. Everyone who's on Zoom, just take a look at if you want your video camera to be on. So, and I know we've all seen kind of like videos of that, right? Like Zoom recordings where it's like, you don't remember that you're unmuted or that you, anyway, it happens to the best of us, happens to me too. But right side of the screen, this is our 4-step system. And today we're just gonna be going into the first 3 steps. And then the next class is mechanics. But to start with the first 3 steps, objective, strategy, and schedule. And then mechanics is like the breakdown of how you can utilize Facebook and Instagram. And so those are going to be the 2 platforms that we focus on for the entirety of social farming. I'm well aware that there's YouTube, that there's LinkedIn, that there's other social media platforms for you guys to utilize, but for the sake of this presentation, we're just focusing on those 2, Facebook and Instagram. But before we hop into social farming all the way, we have to go over what traditional farming is, just because that's the foundation of social farming. So there are 3 steps to staying top of mind. Number 1, planting a seed, and you first have to identify a geographic area, right? It's super important that you understand who your target market is, how you can connect with those people, and also just think of different strategies before choosing a farm, right? Because you're in it for the long haul. So you have to know, what the culture is of a specific geographic area, what the turnover rate is. You have to look at who else is like going to be your competitors in the market and how much market share do they have. So there's a myriad of different things that you have to consider and just a lot of forethought before committing to an actual area. Next, nurture those seeds after you planted them through regular communication and community involvement. So planting the seeds. Anyone want to give examples as to how you would plant seeds in your farm? Door knocking. Distributing flyers.
Monthly report.
What'd she say?
Monthly market report.
Monthly market report. Yeah. So how else would you kind of communicate to people? Events. Anything else? Emailing. So maybe like a drip campaign, even a smart plan that you can employ through commands, a monthly newsletter, whether that's through mailing or email. Kind of hit a lot of bases there, but did someone from Zoom say something? Okay. But yeah, those are all great examples of how you can plant seeds. So a lot of people typically only think of like their flyers and postcards that they send out, but planting seeds is by face-to-face interaction, going off, attending community events, putting on events yourself, and just always kind of popping up in different, it's like multi-channel marketing. That's what I would like to call it. And then step number 3, hopefully through all of that consistent involvement, consistently popping up where people go in the community, you're able to harvest the sales in your farm. So plant seeds, nurture seeds, harvest sales. So kind of went into this, but identifying your farm, that's going to be like step almost like 0 before you even plant the seeds, right? So you have to be very mindful as to where you're focusing all of your efforts, and you have to be really real with yourself as to how well you can serve the community that you want to serve. If it's, if you are choosing a market that you're not bringing value to, then you're not really going to be how do I word it? You're not going to maybe serve them as well as you could serve another community where you are actually bringing value to them. So you really have to understand your target market. And if you guys need help figuring out what your farm should be, please schedule an appointment with me and Haley. We'd love to sit down and talk with you one-on-one. So all this stuff right here, market research, property research, inventory research, we can help with all of that. We will have like a farming meeting with you to help you see the turnover rate. We can get you on title toolbox to see how you can farm. We can suggest certain people who are going to be more inclined to sell, like empty nesters, neck sellers, as well as out-of-state homeowners. So we can advise you as to like what would be best for you to start with. And we suggest anywhere from 250 to 500 homes in your farm just to start. You don't need to have like 3,000 because again, you're going to want to be consistent. Are you going to be able to cold call 3,000 phone numbers? Are you going to be able to send out 3,000 postcards and flyers consistently? That stuff costs a lot of money. I think for even if you do EDVM, 2,500 postcards can be up over $1,000. Are you going to be able to shell that out every month? So you have to ask yourself those questions. Who here has a farm established already? Okay, a few of us. Awesome. Who wants to start a farm? Okay. So for those of you who want to start a farm, please come talk to me and Haley after the class and we'll set up a one-on-one with you and get you started with all the necessary tools that you need. And we'll get you a title toolbox account as well. So now that we kind of went over traditional farming, we can dive right into social farming. Just as you would establish yourself in your traditional geographic farm, you need to establish yourself across social media. So by doing that, you have to create a personal profile. So you cannot social farm if you don't have an account. So you need to either make a Facebook or an Instagram. You can make both, one or the other. It's up to you. Next, you want to connect in meaningful ways. So nurture those relationships, like Saranga said, comment on people's posts, engage. It's not just about you posting. You actually have to interact with the people who follow you, with the people that are friends with you. And I like to push people to think of any followers or friends that you have. Those are warm leads. Those people have to consent to, or even intentionally follow you or press that friend request button. So thinking about those people as opportunities as warm leads, it's definitely a mindset or a mindset shift that you should have. So don't be afraid. Those people are friends with you on those platforms for a reason. And lastly, collect and act on the data that you have. So generate new leads and organic referrals. So I cannot stress this step enough. By collecting and acting on data, and this is where having a CRM is extremely important. So even if you didn't have a conversation with someone, but you saw a status that they posted, an Instagram story, anything with indicators that would maybe tell you that there could be a real estate need in the future, put that in your CRM or even set a reminder on your phone to follow up with that person, call them up, text them, say, hey, how are you? I saw that you just got a new puppy. How's that going for you? Do you have enough space in your apartment or your condo? Just kind of getting to talk to someone based on that need or potential need that they express. Does that make sense? Okay. So me and Haley, we actually use a CRM ourselves. And the more you can automate stuff for follow-up, for people in your pipeline, the easier it's going to be for you. And then you don't really have to think about it. You just have to be good about putting it in at first.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Can you describe what CRM is?
Oh yeah, customer relationship management. So as an example of CRM, thank you, Glenn, for that question. An example of CRM would be Command, which you all should have access to. There's Lion's Desk. Personally, we've utilized Copper before. There is also Zoho or Biggin. There's a myriad of different CRMs that you can utilize. But I mean, I would say dive into Commands since you have it at your fingertips and there's training available for you. I've seen teams who utilize Command a lot, like top teams, and they have a whole pipeline. They always have weekly meetings. They do a weekly review of the people that they need to talk to, different stages that these people are in. And then you can also create those email campaigns, smart plans, different types of drip campaigns for different types of clients to put them on. So there's a lot that you can do with Command, and I highly suggest that you take advantage of it. And that's, again, a CRM, customer relationship management. So anytime that you get like a text from it could be your favorite skincare brand, it could be a clothing brand, it's because you put your phone number and email in there and they put you into a drip campaign. They're using a CRM. So next I want to kind of create a compare and contrast between what happens offline and what happens online. And when I'm talking about what happens offline, I'm in reference to traditional title farming, and then online has to do with social farming. So just as you would door knock in your traditional geo farm, you can also digitally door knock online. So anytime that you give someone a notification on their phone, your name lights up, that is like a little non-intrusive door knock on someone's phone. So if you can digitally door knock by liking a post, by commenting, by simply liking an Instagram story, by private messaging, anything that has your name that makes someone see it, that is a digital door knock. And in that way, you're, again, just like planting a very subtle seed, especially if you're engaging with something that someone has posted. If you're just showing them like, hey, I'm here, I see what you're doing, I'm liking it, I'm commenting, I'm supporting you, and you are seen. And that subtly is just like in someone's brain that you're watching. Oh, you can also walk a farm digitally. So on Instagram, there's what we call geotag locations. So whenever you make a post, let's say I went to go have like a nice steak dinner at Mastro's, and I posted a photo and I tagged as the location Mastro's Steakhouse, or I finished a workout class and I tagged that workout studio. Anytime that someone posts in that specific location, you can look at that location and see all the different posts that people posted there. So it could even, like, if you're curious about a specific community event, someone can tag that community event. Maybe it's a Thanksgiving turkey trot. When you press on that location, you can see all the people who posted at that location. So in that way, you're kind of like digitally walking your farm and getting a feel for like what is happening in that area. Have any of you guys used Snapchat before and seen like on a map on Snapchat where it's like, it looks like really hot on the map? You can click there and see what people have posted. You can do the same thing on Instagram. So in that way, you can just see like places around the world, or specifically for the context of this class, like in your farm, see what people are posting there. So you could be on your couch in your pajamas and learning a lot about your farm just by doing that. Any questions so far?
Oh, this is in what?
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah, and if you guys have questions.
So how do you do it again? Kathy?
I'll show you afterwards, and that's what I was gonna say. If you guys have questions like logistically how to do this, I'm more than happy to send you a screen recording of what I'm doing on my phone and texting it to you, or doing it in person with you guys. Yeah, it's super cool. And even when I tag like a workout place after a workout, even if these people don't follow me, they can view my story. And then I'll see like when I look at my Instagram, I'll see that there were 2 viewers because I tagged that location. Like, it tells you where those people viewed your story from. And again, if you guys have questions, I'll be able to show you all this stuff. So now we're diving into the 4 steps. Step number 1, identify your objective. So just remember that your follower count on Instagram or Facebook, your friend count on Facebook is not a measurement of your success. Just like you can have success with 200 to 500 homes in your farm, you can have success with 250 to 500 people on Facebook or Instagram. About the quality, it's just about It's just about the actions that you're taking to have a quality relationship with those people that you have on your social media. Does that make sense? Okay, and so I know Carrie and Glenn, you guys took my class last year. Do you remember the 3 different parts of objective?
No, I don't.
It's okay.
If you give me 5 minutes to go through my notes, I can.
That's fine. I just like to jog through the
Yeah.
memories, you know,
I
because
know.
this is, I would argue, the most important step of social farming, just because it's so easy to get sidetracked on Facebook or Instagram. Like, how many of you guys have opened up your phone and then been like, why did I open up my phone and how am I scrolling?
Yeah.
How have I been scrolling for 30 minutes and why am I like 4 years deep on this
Yeah.
person's
I can get,
Instagram?
I can get easy like engagements,
Mhm.
oh my gosh. I don't know, engagement something lead. I don't know.
Yeah, so you're on the
Track.
money right there.
Okay.
Yeah, so lead generation, so let me see if I can write this down for you guys. I hope it's okay, I erased this. But, okay, so objective lead generation. Next is cultivate relationships. And then number 3, and these are all interchangeable, it's in no particular order, build brand awareness. So those are the 3 parts to objective. So just like traditional farming, you want to lead gen. That's all for leads, right? So you can actually grow your business. And then number 2, cultivate relationships. That's where the engagement comes. That's where the digital door knocking. That's where you're actually going to communicate with your followers and friends, actually build a relationship with them. And then number 3, building brand awareness. That is the part where you want to focus on, like, am I even posting? Do people even know that I'm a real estate agent? Do they know what value I can bring to them, their lives, their families, their friends, all that good stuff. So objective is like, there's 3 parts to it. And just a little, something that maybe you want to take on, try to connect with 5 new people a week. Now, that doesn't mean people that you've never met before, but maybe it's just like you cycle through your friend list or you cycle through your follower list and you're trying to connect with 5 people from that list every single week, whether it's replying to their story, commenting on something, or you see a post that they made and you just call them up. All that counts as connecting, but just, again, trying to have a conversation with someone is really important. And I want to remind you guys, this all has to do with like warm leads, people that you've known for however long, but that you know prior to this. This doesn't have to do with, you could do it cold, but why not leverage the people that you already know? Where to start? Our recommendations, Facebook and Instagram. Who here is on Facebook?
Yeah.
Who's on Instagram? Who's on both? Okay, a lot of us are on both. And if you like one over the other, that's perfectly fine. There are a lot of people who run their business solely on one platform or the other. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't feel pressured to be on both just because everyone else is. If you know what works for you, that's what works for you. But if you would like to expand, just kind of take baby steps. Next, create your profile. So for this one, I want to talk about how your profiles are sometimes essentially like the first impression that you leave someone, right? So think about if your friend who you've helped, who's also a client, is talking to one of their friends, and you're not there, obviously, but they're like, oh, well, no, this is my friend Carrie. She's also my realtor. Bring up your profile. It's your Instagram or your Facebook. That's the first impression that the friend's going to get because they're showing your profile to them. So always think about it in that way, like what narrative are you expressing through that? What are the first few posts that people are gonna see? And are you making it apparent that you're a real estate agent as well? So if you guys need any help, I've done this for a few of you. If you guys need help with, your profiles, or would like me to do like an audit or give you feedback on your profile, I'm more than happy to do so. And I'll tell you what's great and then what maybe you can implement, add, or change. Again, this is to just tell you to avoid overwhelm. The objective part is really, really important. So just like you would carve out time to do your cold calls in the morning or your prospecting, you're not going to go call your grandma or your sister and talk about your plans for the weekend, right? That time is for you to cold call. So if you carve out time to social farm with the intent of those three things, that is going to help you be less overwhelmed, not get as distracted when you open up your phone. Next, step number 2, strategy. Schedule and strategy are not the same, so those are 2 different steps. I just have to say that. But a big part of strategy is knowing who your target market is. So, and this is why having a CRM would be helpful too, or even an Excel spreadsheet if that's where you want to start. How many of you guys know like what your breakdown of clients is, or your database? Like how many are from your current SOI, how many is from like a past job, family? You do, Glenn?
Yeah.
Saranga a little bit, Rob? Okay. So do you, yeah?
I don't.
You don't? Well, if you don't, maybe just carve out some time to just look at your phone book or look at who's in the database, just to refresh. Me and Haley, we do this weekly because it's required, but as we do it though, I recognize the value in always going back to your database to see like who you even know, because sometimes you forget about people, especially if you're so busy, life happens. But when you're refreshing yourself consistently, you're able to be like, I haven't talked to this person in, like a month or 2, I should call them up. Or you can go look at their Facebook, look at their Instagram, get a little bit of details on them. But just knowing how your database is split up, you're able to just know who you're working with or who to call next. Do you guys implement any sort of plan for those of you who like know your database well? Yeah.
I just use like a smart plan in advance.
Awesome.
And I guess to piggyback on what you said,
Mhm.
I think it is super worthwhile to like audit your database, because I figured for granted, like last week I was like, this person in my database, or they're in my phone for sure. And I looked and I was like, oh weird, they're not in command. And I'm like, oh, I imported everything, and I realized I had a bunch of contacts on an old associated with an old email. So like I went and I found like 150 contacts that were already in my command, but the people I still want. I was like, oh, you can get that in there. So it's just like really cool.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for adding that. And I have a story actually. So one of our clients, he missed out on a $900,000 listing in Riverside, solely because he didn't have that person added on Facebook. He had his friend's wife added on Facebook, but he didn't have like the actual friend who was listing his place in Riverside. And it's simply just because it wasn't in his mind. So like I highly suggest you guys going through and making sure that you have people added on both social media channels if you utilize them. So I heard this a few weeks ago where like the realtor that people are most likely to use is the person that is the one that they most recently spoke to. So sometimes it's not because your friends don't like you or because they prefer one person over the other. It's just that you may not be top of mind to them. So just take that. Like my client will never forget that, because he was like, he called the guy and he's like, I'm so sorry, dude. I totally forgot. Like, and it's your responsibility to be top of mind to your sphere. And you can do all of this through social farming.
So that's what they say, that being in somebody's mind is probably the most valuable real estate that we.
Yeah, seriously, it's just like, and you know, you don't have to be loud and spam people and have people want to block you. But you know, just subtly popping up in someone's feed, or maybe you're on their email campaign. And it helps a lot. Those people don't even have to really scroll through, but just seeing your name is huge. Just reminding them that you exist and that you are or should be their go-to realtor goes very far. So yeah, know who your database is. It's super, super important. And if you don't even know who's in your phone book and you have like 4 Joes in there, call them up. Just be like, hey, don't have your last name. Why not? You have nothing to lose.
A lot of my clients or acquaintances, I don't have their email address, so I have to call them and find out.
Right. Yeah.
So that's why I don't have them in command.
Mm, yes.
I have the numbers, but not email.
Gotcha.
I do have a question. How do you get rid of an agent that's being an agent with this client?
Remember, they'll make a mistake.
I know.
Yeah.
I
I-
haven't done that in 20 years.
You know, you could always just go out, meet with them and talk to them and see if there's a need that their current real estate agent isn't fulfilling for
I
them.
virtually love it.
Okay. I mean,
Sometimes there are just like those few that you
Yeah.
can't crack, but always, you never know what's gonna happen. Or maybe they just want a second opinion sometimes, and want to show your value that way. Just, I think always being there, showing someone that you're gonna show up, even if that doesn't mean they give you business, you know, but I mean, there's always a few tough cookies to crack. Yeah, but you always want to wait for that opportunity, always be prepared for when that other person messes up. Okay, so this is the second part of strategy. This is actually kind of like a suggestion of what you can work up to for your posting and how often you can post per week. And if you think it's too much, that's okay. You can scale it back. Again, this is all just suggestion. This is what has worked for us and what you can implement. So 2 to 3 photos a week. That is going to be posts that stay on your actual can you send us some notepads? We'll get you notepads.
Me too.
Yeah. If you guys need anything, let us know. But
So with that, you can do it for both your personal and your work
yeah.
and just share.
So for each profile, yes, yeah. Because you know, you might have some people on Instagram that aren't on Facebook and vice versa. And I would try to change it up. I know that you can link Instagram to every time you post, like it goes to the other one. Try to be a little bit more intentional. Like that's a great feature. And if that's what is going to get you to post, utilize it. If you have a little bit more bandwidth and time on your hands, try to vary it between Facebook and Instagram, just because if people are on both, they're going to constantly see both things. And these are things that are going to be staying on your profile. So not stories, not the things that disappear after 24 hours. This is what's going to actually stay there. So when someone clicks on your name, they can just scroll through and that's what they're going to see. And again, with the like intent of thinking about what first impression you're going to leave with someone. So this is going to be a little bit more thought out and curated. Next, 3 to 5 stories or timely updates every other day. Have any of you guys used stories? Yeah. So the great thing about stories is that people can actually reply to them, and then you end up in like this private messaging. So that's a really cool thing about stories, is that you have the opportunity to actually have a private conversation with someone versus just the comments, right? Because that's public. And I know this said 3 to 5 stories every other day. You can use stories every day. I highly suggest you actually use it every day. It's not spammy. And by spammy, I mean too much. And this is a great way for you to be a little bit more casual with the content that you're posting. Yes.
If you leave a 24-hour break in between posting your stories, though,
it will actually push your story to the beginning of all of your followers' stories. If you give a 24-hour break in between your stories, like you're not constantly posting on your stories, that actually pushes your profile to the front of all of your followers.
That's a great point. It's interesting because it's like it's like there's a fine balance, right?
Yeah.
If you do too much, then Instagram pushes or Facebook pushes you back because it's almost like the site, like we've seen enough. But if you do like kind of thoughtfully space things out, it's like you're giving enough, but not too much. So you keep popping up to people. Yeah. Yeah, it is a dance. It's like
It changes all the time.
it does change all the time. Yes.
What's the best time to say it?
That's a great question. So that depends completely on your follower base. There is what is called like a creator or business mode on Instagram. And when you go, and we have a whole presentation on this too, that we can bring to you guys. It's called like insights. So you can see when your followers, like your followers specifically, are most active, both time of day and which days of the week too. So like Saturday night, I'll see that people are still on their phones like past 9 p.m. But then come Sunday night, Monday throughout the week, maybe it goes down like past 9 p.m. So for me personally, I just try out different times of day. I've done it at 9 a.m., no likes because I got likes, but not as many as I could have because people were at work, right? Or everyone's just getting work. But then anytime between like 12 to 6 p.m., the likes went up because people are maybe they're not working as hard after lunchtime, or they're done working, and then this after 5, like between 5 to 6, like people are getting off of work too. So up to you. I've seen it where Sundays not so much, or like even weekends kind of people aren't liking stuff as much. So it's all about like your follower and friend behavior. But it's if you're just struggling to post like once a week, don't think too hard about the time of day and which day. That's something that you can work up to. If you just need to work on posting in general, just post when you can. Okay, so I still wanted to talk about the stories for a little bit, where that can be like an in the moment type of thing. It can be more casual. You don't have to put special filters that match the rest of your feed on there. That can be simply as like, oh, I'm going on my morning walk, and putting a timestamp on there, like it's 6:30 in the morning, or showing people that you're at, your favorite restaurant in your geographic farm and featuring, that restaurant. This is my favorite place to get tacos on Tuesday. I love this. And it can be casual, keep it lighthearted and fun. And this is your time to let your personality come out. I've been playing around a lot on my stories recently, and I've been getting so much feedback from people. And it doesn't have to be real estate related. It can be, but like I've done stuff with cooking, I've done stuff with the passions that I have, and that's like a lot more interaction that I get with. So think about the things that you want to be known for and how you want to showcase that and how you want to connect with people. And that's why it's super important to, again, know your target market, know what's of value to your people. Next, 1 to 2 videos or reels per week. Reels are those videos that you can make on Instagram. I think now that when you post any video on Instagram, just a standalone video, it automatically becomes a reel. You can do a lot with Instagram reels. You can edit them to be super fancy, crazy, flashy, or you can simply just make a video and post it. I highly suggest to include closed captions on any sort of video that you put out there. And if you need help putting those on a video or your story, I can show you that as well. But that's a really good feature just because people are on their phones in situations where they can't put the video or the sound on. And so if you have closed captions, they can at least watch and look and see what you're saying, like read what you're saying. And with the videos and reels, like I said, it doesn't have to be fancy. It can be you simply talking in your car. There's really successful real estate agents who will make, like a little segment or their commentary on what's happening in the market, and then they'll just post it. There's other agents who have thousands of dollars for a production team and make it super fancy. whichever one you want to be, just go with it. The thing that matters most is the value that you're providing and the content and the subject matter that you're talking about. Don't be tripped off on the fact that your video may not look like someone else's. It's merely about the content that you're providing. And we all start somewhere. Next, one live virtual event per month. This is like going live on your Facebook or Instagram. This is a great way for you to show that you are actively in your farm in real time. Doesn't have to be something crazy. It could be a concert in the park during the summertime. It can be, 4th of July parade. It can be you going live in your farm while you're door knocking, like, hey guys, rain or shine, I am out here door knocking. It's my goal to fit 30 homes in. How long do you think it's going to take for me to go? Even if you have 2 or 3 people popping up, that's fine. But you're at least showing people that you are in your farm. And when you go live, you send a push notification to all of your followers and friends that you are going live. So even if they don't click, your name is popping up, which is again a digital door knock. And lastly, track your insights and use the CRM. I'm going to say it again. Look at your CRM, put automations up for yourself. Your insights, we can go into how to look at that. We have another like offshoot social farming presentation where we go into Instagram insights. Lastly, success does not happen without consistency, just like with anything. Number 1, use a calendar. So schedule out as much as you can for posting and connecting. So like I said, like we all schedule cold calling or when we're going to door knock, schedule when you're going to social farm. Schedule, it could be 15 minutes a day, because you could get a lot of stuff done on your phone in just 15 minutes. It could be an hour, however much time you want to dedicate to this. Just make sure you're consistent and you have those objectives in mind. Otherwise, you're just mindlessly scrolling, which is okay. But when it has to do with your business and your job, you have to have those blinders on. Give thoughtful replies and comment back in a timely manner. This is relationship building. I know there's people who will wait to make a post until like the day after of an event, so that when they do post, they are available to comment back to people within, a reasonable amount of time. Whereas if I were to make a post and I was still at this party or still at my celebration, there's going to be a lot of engagement that I'm not going to get to, or I'm not going to be able to reply to those people because I'm just busy. So time is of the essence. Just be mindful about that. And lastly, learn about batching content. This is super important if you're super busy, if you already maybe feel like overwhelmed with social media and you're like, I just struggle with posting. Batching content is like, or like to make an analogy where you don't just bake one cookie at a time, right? You have a whole batch of cookies, you bake like 12 at a time. So batching content means like you're not just going to take one photo. Maybe you dedicate 2 to 3 hours, one day a month, where you have 3 outfit changes. You're going to go to 3 different locations in your farm, and you're going to take photos, and you're going to have a whole folder in your phone or on your computer for you to pull from for the next month. So that way you're kind of thinking ahead of time. Stuff happens, you might get sick, your kid gets sick, or you're like, I just don't want to put on makeup this week. And you have all these pictures and video to pull from so that you can still consistently post. So again, this is all just to make your lives easier. You want to be proactive and not make it stressful for you. So, sometimes you just have to put in the grunt work first, and then you'll reap the benefits as time goes on.
And it doesn't always have to be related to real estate.
Oh, no, not at all. Actually, yeah, let me go back to this. Thank you for asking that. That reminds me, we suggest like a ratio of 70-30. So 70% is like personal about you. And when I say personal, you don't have to share your kids, you don't have to share your family, but things about you that make you different and would make you be able to connect with others. So I'd like to have you like maybe write a list of your habits, hobbies, activities, and interests. I'll write that down. There's hobbies, habits, and there might be some overlap. But this is just like an exercise for you to think about what makes you you. Because we all kind of have the same function, right? As real estate agents, it's like, well, the function is to buy or sell a home for a client and get the transaction closed. But what's going to get those people to you? It's that. It's what's going to differentiate you from the next person sitting, right next to you, or the other person, the other realtor in your farm. So make a list of those things, and that can be, ideas for you to make posts that are more on the personal side. And then the remaining 30% would be real estate related. And you can make a whole list of what you consider real estate related. It could be your market updates. It could be a post like, oh, lowest and highest sale on the farm last month. It could be you're just listed, just sold. It can be an open house that you hosted. There's a whole slew of things for you to post that is real estate related. Or Saranga, you have great like tips for home buyers. Like you are always providing value in that way as like a source or a reference for people who might have questions. But then again, the 70%, if you guys need help, drafting, strategizing, or just putting a plan together for your social media, please let me and Haley know. That's what we like to do for our clients. If you work well with accountability, we can have like bi-weekly or monthly meetings. If you just need a plan, you just need something to like run with, we can help you with that as well. Thank you for asking that question. You guys have any questions so far, or like anything that you might need personally help with for social media or social farming? Because there might be someone else who needs help with that too. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of session 1, Intro to Social Farming. We went over objective, which is lead gen, cultivating relationships, building brand awareness, strategy, so knowing who your database is made up of, understanding how often to post each week, the schedule, so making sure that you're batching your content, as well as carving out time as however suits you best in your week to implement social farming. And then next class, we're going to go over the mechanics of Facebook and Instagram. You're going to learn about kind of like the usership of those platforms, who's on which one more, and just different little things that you can do utilizing Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate your attendance. And if you guys, again, want like a one-on-one, we work kind of like a consultative approach to your Facebook and Instagram and how you can farm best in the areas that you want to focus on. So please let us know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
of course.
There might be questions in the chat.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Can we? Oh, my IG handle. Yeah. I have 2. So.
Oh, I do have a question actually.
Yeah.
Is it better when you're starting out to set up a separate social media account for your business, or to keep your original one because that's the one that you already have your followers on?
Yeah, I've gotten that question many times, and there's different perspectives. Like, I'm not going to tell you to do one or the other. For real estate agents, it's like you already have your sphere, right, on your original one that you might have had for even 10 years already. Yeah. But, it depends what you want to share. And if you even want to create a separation between business and personal, again, you are your brand.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you're in front of people as much as you can. I've seen it where this one agent, what she likes to do is her personal account that she's had for a long time is still private. Her real estate account is public. She will share her real estate posts on her story of her personal so that people are still getting her real estate content and she's still sharing it to her sphere, but she's still kind of keeping that separation between business and personal, if that makes sense. So it depends, like if you For example, if you have a family and you don't want the whole world like seeing your kids and you just want to have close family and friends, that's, that's up to you. That's up to your own discretion as to how much you want to share. But I really like the tactic of sharing the business stuff on the personal stories so that people still get little nuggets of your real estate side. Yeah. And plus your real estate branding might be a bit different than, your personal account and how you portray yourself there. But you guys can see both of my Instagrams. You'll see how there's like kind of a difference. The Laurelyn one, that's the one that I've had since I was like 14. And then Laurelyn_CMT, that is purely just like title and real estate. And you'll see how there's I'm still myself, but my friends don't care about title insurance.
Yes.
If I were a real estate agent, that would be different. But my consumer base is, real estate agents.
Do you have a cooking one?
I do have a
Separate,
third
right?
one also.
Apologize.
That's my cooking Instagram. So I have a bunch of different personalities, guys, but it's like, for me, I don't want to spam everyone with like the croissants that I made, but I'll I have made croissants before, but occasionally like I'll share my stuff from my cooking Instagram on my personal, and if my sphere wants to follow the cooking because they're interested, then they'll do it, but I'm not like in their face about it, but I still remind people that I cook, and again, thinking about what you want to be known for is super important, like 3 main things, right? So, and that's just like on the personal side. And of course, as a real estate agent, your work will speak for itself, and your track record, and then also just always being of value to people will definitely shine through. That should always be like a core tenet to your business. Cool. Any other questions? This can be like a discussion time if you want, but who would like help on their Instagram or Facebook?
I'd like you just to create posts and do all my posts.
Okay. You just want someone to do it for you, Rob?
I hate posting anyway, so if someone would handle that side, then
And yeah, I think, at some point you could hire out someone to handle that, but it's important to understand how it works prior to that, so that you at least can form some sort of judgment or discernment as to what you like. Because if you just instantly outsource, I've seen it where I'm like, because I follow a bunch of real estate agents, but I'm like, they hire the same person because they made the same post. So yeah, try to like fit in a little bit of like your own flair and originality. So build your own brand first, and then have someone like implement out your own brand for you. Don't have someone else create your own brand, because if anything, your page is going to look like the next agents, right? But you still want people to see you for who you are. And that's how you get people to come to you. Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time. We'll send a follow-up email, and if you guys, oh yeah, for those of you who want, let me give you guys this. I have a habit tracker, so this is for you to utilize if you want to implement good habits on, this can be used for anything. For social media, thank you. This can be a habit tracker for your social media. It can be a habit tracker for your health and fitness. I've had agents want this for their kids so that they do their chores. So that's up to you. And then we can also email it to you. Who needs a title toolbox account for farming? Title toolbox, it's like a farming software where you can find property information. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I'll give you this.
Email this to us too.
Yes, I will, definitely. And then here's the habit. Of course, thank you for coming.
Right, or thanks.
I know, I go to both of this recently, actually.
Oh, thank you.
how does this work? There you want it to the month, and then why is the
Yeah, so like the circle is for your daily habits, and then the chart is for your weekly habits, and then the bottom is for monthly.
so is this? 1, 2, 3, 4.
So it should go, so what you would do for like where it says 1, that's day number 1 of the month.
And it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 habits you should have.
Yeah,
that day.
or you can like fill in whatever you want.
Okay.
You don't have to do all 10, but it's cool to see like the whole entire wheel fill up. Yes.
Okay. Everyone got a habit tracker? All right, so I know there's like a lot of boxes on here and you're like, what am I looking at? So over here, you'll see this kind of like circle, and then you see blue and white stripes. And then there's like a line at the bottom. So this is gonna be your daily habits, things that you wanna do every single day. And the blue line corresponds with the blue stripe as it goes around. And then below it's the white. And as you see, there's like, it's numbered 1 to 31. If you completed that task that you wrote here, you just either put like a check mark or a X, whatever, if you want to color it in, up to you. So those are your daily habits. Then to the left of or right of that, you have the weekly habits. So again, you write what you want to do once a week, and then you check off if you did that week 1 of this month, week 2, and so on. Then monthly habits, those are things that you want to do once a month. So how you can apply this to social farming is maybe you want to post a story in my farm, like once a day. And you check off if you did that. Or another one could be liked my sphere's Instagram posts. So making sure that you are engaging with them. Comment on at least 5 people's posts today, and making sure that you're just doing that every single day. So that's how you can implement like the daily. Some weekly habits would be make post number 1, make post number 2, publish video or reel. That's your once a week thing. You check that off. Monthly habits could be sending out birthday cards. So the great thing about having people on Facebook is that you know when their birthdays are. So I know like nobody remembers my birthday. The only reason why they write on my wall on Facebook is because they get a notification, right? So again, it's another thing, but it pays off going through your database, looking them up on Facebook, making sure that you have them added, and just putting it in your calendar when their birthday is, and to have a reminder. Or maybe you just send out at the beginning of the month everyone's birthdays, like birthday cards to their house. That goes a long way. No one really gives birthday cards anymore. So another monthly habit, batching content. So you know, for the month before, making sure that for the next month, making sure that you have that folder of new photos ready. So those are just some examples, and you can use this for anything. We're gonna send a PDF of it too, so you can print out multiple. Cool, thanks guys.
Thank
you.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, because I'm like jumping around.
Yeah, and you've got your more.
Did everyone fill out the sign-in sheet? 'Cause we're gonna send out an email after this.
Yes, I did.
Thank you guys.
Oh yeah, that's our contact info.
I need to follow you on Instagram.
Yes, follow.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
You know, when we send email in Yahoo,
Mhm.
on the site, the advertising appear also.
Oh, advertising?
Yeah, on the Yahoo.
Mhm.
How can we contact the company that does that? Outside Yahoo, all the different advertising appears.
Honestly, I'm not sure. I would have to just look that up on the internet to see how, but a lot of the time when there's like advertisements that pop up, if I'm on a random website, it's because it was tracking your kind of your activity. Yeah, so I don't know exactly how to do that, but I can look into it for you.
You know, when we send email, always narrow the different people have. Somebody wants the automobile, law company.
Yeah.
So I want to know.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I have your phone number because you called me now, so I'll look into it. Yeah, nice to meet you.
I want to show you like how to.
know. Love that. Thank you so much.
There's no cost. Or maybe first, then second. Maybe like. So that makes sense.
Where is it going? I think my phone is
It's the option.
I said that.
Don't.
And this. And my-
Yeah. Cool, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we should definitely follow that. Yeah, we can help us all with that too.
And said, you could find.
Okay,
thank you.
Of course.
Remember, that's good one stuff.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely, it's a learning curve,
Actually,
but-
tomorrow's the one day that you're gonna think of something else better. But
200
I want to
people,
one day.
just telling them like up to, and then also be like your own investigating on people, just to, any reason to help them out.
what about next Tuesday?
During the conversation to add, like, it's post, it goes, boom. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was. That I found, I definitely, like, texted before. Yep. Yep.
Did you want to, use it?
Yeah, so. I think we can do, choose that up. What is your name?
And then you forward
Ari?
email.
Yes. I think they just go, sometimes I'm like, thank you, because I'm like, okay, right, you gotta figure something out here. What? So I would do that on.
Facial.
We have always been finding which generates. I know. I know. It's of course you like. What's that? But I'm proud that like. Yeah. And she, like a longer range. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Next time. If these phone number. But if they now.
Are you gonna be? I'm gonna be, yeah, I mean, and then I do.
Yeah, so I'll look at my
I saw you.
So we finish your list.
Oh, thanks.
Then they record.
Yeah.
Lily, can you forward me that email you have from Compass? Person who's that great newsletter. I need to make my newsletter today.
I'm sure I need help with everything, but let's, yeah. I already know, it's like, I need one, I need stuff, and I don't think in my, but the grid,
We'll get you there.
I know. So Rhonda, he is so good.
Yeah.
He is very good. He's an inspiration.
Yes. Your farming software. Hold on,
And
let me
then-
bring it to you real quick. Bye, Karen. No.
I'm thinking, I'm like, gosh, I could be your mother. I think I'm like 30 something.
No, I did think.
Thank you,
It looks so nice. That party was beautiful.
It was fun. Yes, oh my gosh, the cake.
It looks so pretty.
Okay.
I joined.
I just want to go over what kind of stuff it is. So farming software, you can get, contact information, know who like owners are, you can do reverse search of someone's name.
So she should.
I just forwarded that to you.
Property profile.
How's it going? Did you end up meeting with some like the businesses?
Yeah, like this. Oh, I think they were signed on, but when I've asked them to last week to send me over what they'd like to be included, the ones, only ones responded. So,
That would be like a special feature. One.
yeah. Or I could just like find like the logo of the business myself, if you don't want this. I've still got it. Yeah, for soon enough. Yes. What's going on? Few, but I'm good.
You can throw your going forward on.
Yeah, to do that. Give that a go from. Not only I can stick out whatever I do, oh yeah.
List all the homeowners. And then you want a PDF.
Yeah, nice, we're gonna do that. I feel as though on the phone. When it starts speaking, it feels as though people want to hear it.
Yeah.
So. Yes, at least, yeah.
You have just. Not.
I don't know how to spend it. Difficult compared to.
When are you guys gonna do that? And you guys are together. It's always easier when you're with someone too.
Yeah.
You're pretty, you feel like pretty comfortable.
Yeah, I don't mind.
I'll get
I
you.
mean, most people don't even answer for me. It affects me.
You guys have something that you're gonna lead.
Yeah, I should.
Okay.
It's all free. That's the one.
What is, and she's talking about like, city of.
Which one is yours?
Really related to this John. You find that things out.
Oh, okay.
Very good. Very good slide.
I did not see that actually.
So I will set up your account flood.
Yeah.
Supposed to meet with Haley. But then
Is there, do you have any app for door locking?
Yeah, we do.
Hey.
So that'd be titled toolbox.
What's up?
Haley related to the guy on the screen.
I
Can I
am.
see its logo?
So he's
It's,
my new.
what color, what shape? has
Yeah,
that?
turn.
So the blue.
We're out the turn.
T on
He
it
was like,
Is the one app, so we have two apps, there's one titled toolbox, which she talked about, and that one's really good on the computer. And also like, if you're out in the field, you just wanna like look up the property, it's like information on there, that's really great, and then there's another one called property.
it's
Tours,
funny because like.
You can actually, like, take a picture
of
of the property. And it'll come up with a profile.
Okay, but you know, I gotta start my door on, so I can organize everything. For example, I knocked this door already or not, and what happened?
One of
you
the
know,
heavies.
What,
Like,
lady or what was the conversation?
Over there.
So,
It's pretty free.
I wanna add some
Probably,
description.
But is it small? That
Do you have this
That's
option?
a tiny.
Yeah,
That's
so
like a.
you're able
yeah.
to.
you get so much
pull
done.
up.
Oh, that's, I only rolled it, right?
That's something boring.
That one.
So
What's that mean?
There's no ropes, right?
it looks like
Oh, no,
this.
yeah, it's
This
only
is
bouldering
the,
that
this is
little
the
thing.
app. And then when I click
Yeah.
on it,
It's because it's for families.
Oh,
So
okay.
let's slow it down.
Yeah.
Like,
you
I
can
don't know
save
what
like
even
a
do
full
with the fingers.
list of
How do people
properties.
have the strength of the fingers to like do them?
I can make it for on the back, right?
Yes.
You only need
So-
whatever.
You only need 3 fingers.
Or 2.
I'm gonna use my pinky.
Actually, I don't use my pinky that much either. But I think
I was
I do
watching
sometimes.
a video and they were saying that you actually have more force by just using the 3, but when you engage your pinky, it's like, maybe it's because you have to pull friends more.
Oh, that.
I don't know. It's
Sometimes
just
I
like,
just need to do like.
like
with
maybe
each.
you can reach up, so it's like the
I thought
engagement. of
my
the
pinky
people.
is-
6 months.
I really
But
love
also
this.
like, you know, like some stuff for me,
I'll
like,
get the age of the core.
I can't fit more than like this.
Mm.
Like that.
Right.
You can put yourself up like that.
And, like,
Oh,
snap.
yeah.
I had a tiny bit of mine, honestly.
Oh,
I
okay.
hurt
So it
my
looks
knee.
like this.
Have you seen
And
that?
so
I think
you
I'm
can
gonna
either type it in as
Yeah.
Or you might be able, I don't.
No, not that we bought it once.
Yeah.
Yeah, we bought, for example,
Yeah.
cover streets or.
Yeah.
yes, so you can do that as well, so.
Yeah,
You're like clipping along.
And I went to State Farms.
yes, I just like folder. Mostly because my
I can
boyfriend,
see,
like,
so
he doesn't like sport climbing, he's a.
You can do it.
He could,
You could probably, yeah. Probably do it.
yeah.
Have you seen this two climate documentaries, we've seen one called Dawn Wall,
Mhm.
and then the other guy.
So it'll have the map for you to be able to view, and then.
No, I don't-
Alphabet?
The algorithm.
Hold it.
That was really
Oh,
good.
there.
You know that I don't like.
And then, so these are all the properties that I see.
But I couldn't.
So I can open
Yeah.
them up, I can do profile, I
Right.
can look at the details of the
Yeah, I know
property.
you're trying to-
So who owns it, I
Yeah,
can pull up
like-
grant
Just
deed,
call.
it also tell me if it's in default,
Really?
really, like the default document.
For the season.
But can I
do the
comment also?
Like, I wanna get that.
Yes, you should be.
That's like the next skill I need, I think, to take it to the next level.
Where do you go for that?
No trad climbing.
I need to do track.
Trad is like
I actually
so.
don't think you're able to do the notes on here, but on
Try is just like,
your, on the
you have to
computer,
face
you
your
can add
gear
notes.
when you're going up. Right, and you.
So the ones that are
You're gonna have to
good-
like put your gear in, make sure it's secure,
Oh,
and then clip, and like you have to carry all your gear on as you go up.
It just seems like
And you
more
gotta-
expensive.
And
Yeah, you're not able to do it.
But yeah, I should.
But we can get you guys set up with an account and I can show you everything that
I
it
think like
does,
trad.
because there's a lot you can do
You have to,
for
like,
free.
really know.
Like the only thing you need to pay
Yeah.
for. would be
I don't know,
the
it's like,
number.
it's like
You do, no,
the, this is
Other
a
than
factor.
that, you can pull
Right.
net sheets, full property profiles, notice of default,
Yeah.
notice of trustee sales. It has
There's
commercial
one that I know,
information, vacant
She's
land
not my friend, but my
information.
boyfriend's friend. And she
And
like,
then
she's recently gotten into a lot of trad.
Mhm.
And like just. it's
So
really
5 cents
fresh.
for phone number found,
Yeah.
or
Better
7
take you to the
cents
next
per email.
level.
Yeah.
Like in the sense, like you're already carrying. some
Yeah.
sort of
I'll be done.
gear,
Okay.
you're not getting strong.
Yeah. And so, and we can help you out too if there's a property.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can kind of go for-
Yeah, you could.
And then I'll.
Oh, what's that like?
You could do it in Joshua Tree, you could do it in Alabama. You could do it,
Malibu.
Malibu, yeah, you just go to Malibu.
And over there,
Go do
I
planning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you'll probably, we'll have to wait.
it's raining.
There's some granite down here in Malibu too, though.
Really?
There's bouldering. Granite, yeah. Tunnel boulders and, hyper.
Thank you, dear.
Well,
Yeah, thank you. Have a great day.
They're
I
both
mean, I
like,
thought that it was. I thought that it was-
Yeah, I'll let you know. I think we're gonna start climbing again this week.
I'm gonna start coming in like 3 more weeks, so I'm still on the break there.
When's
Yeah,
your
my
marathon in
The
March?
19th. Like pretty soon.
3 weeks, literally.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Are you ready?
I'm actually, yeah, I feel like I feel like it's really chill.
Have you ever ran one before?
Yeah.
The
Wait,
longest train
Florida?
run.
Yeah.
What? The longest train run you could.
18 miles. I was supposed to do 21 this past week, but like,
Alright,
I've been having knee problems, and so I just was like, I'm gonna.
you'll be okay. If you don't need an AT, you'll last.
Yes, I'm feeling pretty
I think I
good.
did. I ran this 10K on my biggest road
Like that.
in Leavesville.
Yeah, I've seen people run like 13 miles and that was like it.
Yeah, I'm going for time, so we'll see how it.
What time you going, Paul?
Under 4,
Are you trying to qualify for anything?
No.
Okay, just
just a
personal goal.
Mine, I'll try and do my time. I think mine was like 3:42.
See? That's good.
Okay. All right.
Go for the first half,
Oh,
but
for
then-
the marathon?
Yeah.